Hi, I'm Melissa.
And I'm Jesse.
Welcome to the Reimagine Success Podcast. We're a husband and wife team who want to make a difference and change the way we all view success.
We've had the privilege of interviewing so many amazing, talented, and successful guests. Each one of them experienced success in their own way.
We want to change how society views success by inspiring you to live your best life and celebrate your successes no matter what that looks like, big and small.
Success looks so different for everyone, and we want you to reimagine your success. Welcome to Season 2 of
Reimagine Success. Welcome back to Season 2 of Reimagine Success on location.
Yeah, we got a huge twist this week. We are out in Mississippi.
We are. We just arrived today. And guess what? We have been out all night long. It's been amazing. It is like 12 something at night right now. I don't even know what time it is.
It is actually
12:39 a.m. We are coming to you live from Mississippi on the road. So it's Reimagine Success on tour.
We've been super excited about this trip because we've only done interviews over Zoom up until this point, but today we actually get to do an in-person interview, and that's super cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. We are very excited. So today we what all have we done lately?
Oh goodness.
We've been if I don't know if you guys have been following our Instagram or if you're on patreon.com/creativeglobal. It's only $5 a month. You can see all the behind the scenes, all the sneak peeks. It's a really cool page. So patreon.com/creativeglobal.
Yeah, there's been a lot going on.
Yeah.
A lot.
So much.
And if you go over to Patreon, you will see not only that you get unbelievable bonus content from all of our episodes and you get video episodes, but you also get all this behind the scenes of just stuff that Melissa and I are doing that's really super cool.
Yeah.
And you get to be a part of our journey.
Yeah. And keep following us because the next couple of weeks we are going to be on set and we're going to be giving you some behind the sneak peeks.
Yeah. So we're really excited that we got booked on 2 different set jobs for next week and the week after that. One is a family with our children, and then one is a couple. So that's really cool.
Yeah, it's really exciting. So with all the excitement, I want to dive into tonight.
Oh, yeah. So the reason we're in Mississippi, in case you don't know, is we are here supporting just an amazing human, but a super cool athlete.
Yep.
And so I'm just going to go ahead and introduce you to Bad Boy Carnage. The indie icon has wrestled for 28 years, getting in the ring with some of the biggest stars in wrestling. Carnage has held over 25 titles and has done everything a person can do in the wrestling business. And when he says everything, it is everything. Carnage was on TV from 2000 to 2004 with the NACW Wrestling Company. He was also on a local TV in the DMV doing Redskins late night shows for 4 seasons. Being the bad boy, he was the bodyguard for the NFL stars RG3 and Donovan McNabb. He created and hosted Cage of Dreams, a cable TV show having guests who have lived their dreams and would love to tell how along with inspiring others. In 2017, he started WIN, a nonprofit helping special needs children. 2020, Carnage created his own brand, Iconic One, which inspires you to be your best. Be iconic. The one is you. And with that, it is our absolute privilege to welcome Carnage, the bad boy.
The bad boy. Woo!
Ooh, hey, thanks for having me, man. That was a beautiful intro. I appreciate that. And I love the shirt.
Oh, yeah. So for those of you that are on our Patreon, you can see I am wearing an Iconic One shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Designed by Carnage.
That's right.
But like I was saying, we're here in Mississippi supporting Carnage. Melissa actually dressed as Crimson tonight, and we went to his wrestling match. And
this is afterwards. All this wig and all tonight, guys.
She not only escorted him to the stage, but she may have gotten a little bit involved in the wrestling match itself.
Yeah,
it was pretty awesome. She unfortunately, my opponent decided he wanted a anything goes type of match, falls count anywhere. It was just absolutely crazy. We were using all kind of weapons and everything, and I had my living weapon with me and with her sword, and we were out there having a good time. She got to slap some of the wrestlers, and
It
oh
was
man,
crazy,
it was insane.
It was absolutely crazy. I think that's actually the first time ever I've slapped someone in the face. To be honest,
You did it way too well.
Yeah, you
I
did
did
it too
three
good. Yeah.
times.
I'm a little afraid now.
I would be, yes, if I was you, yes.
It was actually a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to slap someone in the face. I can see why you were a wrestler.
Yes, it's always good to get paid to beat people up.
Right.
Yes.
That was great. So, Carnage, let's go back to where you came from, your roots. Like, what was your journey like to get you to the point where you are today?
Wow, I tell you, it's been a long road. You know, I started watching wrestling when I was like 5 years old. My grandmother would turn it on Saturday mornings up when I lived in New York.
Yeah.
And you know, we would watch it and everything, and I would just get into it. And eventually, as I got older, I was like 12, 13, I would see these wrestlers on there, and I'd be like, man, you know, I'd love to do that. And it was probably, I want to say it was like 1973 or 5, somewhere around that. There was a match I saw on television from Madison Square Garden. It was for the WWF at the time, heavyweight title. It was Superstar Billy Graham versus the American Dream Dusty Rhodes. And it was a leather strap match where each wrestler had a leather strap on each one of their wrists, and they were able to use it to hit each other and stuff. And I'll tell you what, that match was just absolutely amazing. Dusty Rhodes himself is not the most chiseled physique in wrestling. He was just an ordinary guy, a little overweight, you know, not the prettiest guy out there, but he had the charisma. And I think that's what drew me in.
Yeah.
Was just the way the crowd was behind him 1,000%. And that match just blew me away. And, you know, after that, it was like, you know, that's something I want to do when I get older. Also during that time, I watched roller derby. I'm sure probably before your guys' time, but it was like
I know roller
real
derby.
roller derby back then. And that was actually my first goal. I wanted to be a roller derby star because I thought that was pretty cool too, but that never panned out. I never got that chance. And then I finally got to be a wrestler. And one of the most amazing times in my career was that I actually got to meet both Superstar Billy Graham and Dusty Rhodes
Cool.
during my career.
Wow.
Very cool.
Dusty is now passed. He passed, you know, a few years ago.
Yeah.
But to meet both of the icons that inspired me to get into the business is probably the top. You can't get any better than that, than to meet your actual idol.
I love that.
So it was pretty amazing.
That's awesome. You know, and it's so funny because I feel like that's how wrestlers look up to you now, you know, because it was funny. You know, we were back in the green room and we were all hanging out. All the wrestlers were back there. Of course, Jesse and I are back there hanging out with the wrestlers. And, you know, that I feel like they all look up to you that way. They all look up to you as you're, you know, you've done this for so long. You're a professional. And they kind of follow your lead, and you lead the example.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, people, you know, respect others, you know, and so this business is hard because you just can't walk into a locker room and expect respect, you know, you have to earn it. And so, like I said, I've been in the business 28 years. I've wrestled all over, probably over 50 or 60 promotions I've wrestled in over the years, and met so many hundreds and thousands of wrestlers, you know. And so to be able to go in there and have them come in and shake your hand and say, hey, Carnage, how you doing? You know, pat you on the back when you're done, and, you know, things like that. You know, it just speaks volumes, you know, and I respect those guys for that respect. And, you know, I'm just glad to do what I do. And, you know, I give 1,000% every time, whether it's 5 or 5,000 fans in the area. And, you know, I want to give them their money's worth no matter what. And, you know, I just have a great work ethic. And I think the guys kind of see that, they respect it. I treat those guys with just as much respect as they give me. And so that goes a long way in this business.
Yeah. I mean, you were on time today. You were on it. You were professional.
Definitely gave everybody their money's worth. Tell you what, boy, did they put on a show tonight. So this was my first professional wrestling match that I've ever been to. And I didn't, like, you know, I've seen it on TV. I didn't really know what to expect. But on the local level, like, you guys are really beating the crap out of each other.
Oh yeah, it's realer than real. I mean, what you see
Yeah.
on TV is, I don't know. It's more scripted. It's choreographed. It's, I don't want to say fake because we don't use that word in our business, but it's very more. These guys are like on a payroll. So like WWE and AEW. These guys all work together. They travel together. So they're like it's their job. You know what I mean? And so they have to behave and things like that to each other and things like that. I mean, there are heat in the back sometimes with some of the wrestlers.
Yeah, I bet.
But that's everywhere. But on the indie level, which is a whole different animal, because there's guys that I've come across in locker rooms that I've never met, probably might not ever meet again, maybe sometimes. And so I have to wrestle these guys not knowing anything about them or anything. And so either that or there's times I got to wrestle somebody that I might not like. I might have heard about them.
Yeah.
And so I might not respect them enough. And so, I mean, there's a lot of hostility back there sometimes, but you got to be a professional and go out there, do what you got to do for the promoter because they're the one paying you.
Yeah.
Well, most
and
of
the
them
fans,
anyway. Most of them anyway.
The
Some
fans
of the
are out there
promoters are
supporting
cheap,
you.
but for the fans, you want to give them those 2 hours that they're there to take their mind off of whatever they got going on in their life, any stress, any negativity, any family life that's going on that's not good. You want to take them away from all that, put them into a world where they can yell, they can scream, they can get crazy, and have a great time for those 2 hours and then go home and be happy. Yeah. And, that's what it's all about for us.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Now, you were just talking about the kind of people that you sometimes have to wrestle, but let's talk about the people you have wrestled. Can you give us a couple names of the people you've shared the ring with?
I've wrestled. Oh my gosh, I've wrestled so many big name stars. It's just unbelievable. A lot of stars from the 90s and stuff. The Honky Tonk Man, Earthquake.
Oh, yeah.
Let's say the Rock and Roll Express, the Hardy Boys.
The Hardy Boys. I remember them so much.
The Abdullah the Butcher. I mean, Demolition. I mean.
Oh, he showed us pictures from the Butcher today. Oh my God. This dude stabbed him in the face with a fork.
Right in the forehead.
Oh my God.
In the forehead, like in the forehead.
It was disgusting.
And it was just blood everywhere, just coming out.
With a fork.
Yeah.
Just stabbing.
That was actually the bloodiest I've ever been. And I was actually carried out on a stretcher that night. So that was pretty brutal.
Yeah. So now that was probably, would you say, the biggest highlight of your career as far as the craziness,
Oh man, to try to put that into one thing is just because there's been so many, I've done so many and wrestled so many people. It's just probably the one thing that really stands out to me is one of the things I was wrestling Demolition Axe in North Carolina, and it was probably around 2001, and we were the main event. Of course, I was the heavyweight champion at the time, the NACW champion, and the match before us, we were the main event. So the match before us, the semi-main event, actually broke the ring. So the whole ring was lopsided. It was broken on one side, so you couldn't wrestle in it.
Holy cow.
And so I'm like, dude, what are we going to do? We can't wrestle in the ring. He said, don't worry about it. He said, let's just go out there, get in the ring.
Yeah.
He said, as soon as the bell rings, I'm going to throw you outside and we're going to wrestle everywhere in the crowd. I'm like, sure. And so we get in there. He throws me out and we just battled all outside the whole ring the whole time.
Nice.
And then we just he finally threw me in at the end. And we finished the match just for the pin, because you have to pin in the ring. So we had so we were in the ring maybe a total of like a minute the whole time for like a 20-minute match. So it was pretty crazy because I'm like, dude, the ring's broke, man. He goes, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm like, okay.
They were outside the ring a bunch tonight too.
Yeah.
No, we had a anything goes match. So with that, you can use any weapons. You could go anywhere. And it was, I want to say it was pretty crazy.
Carnage used a crutch, a chair, a bat wrapped in barbed wire.
My favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty impressive.
pretty
I have to tell
Couple chairs
Yeah,
actually.
a couple of
Yeah,
chairs. Yeah, we
yeah.
used a couple of chairs. Got some chains in there too. I think the dude had a
Mhm.
chain
Yeah,
or
he had a
something.
chain.
But yeah, it was good times, man.
It was
Yeah,
fun. It was
That's
fun.
fun.
Yeah. Now, Carnage, with you being out on the road all the time, I mean, you are such a marketing genius. His booth, you guys, he had everything on there. He even had Oreos.
Mhm.
Chocolate covered Carnage Oreos. Yes.
Yeah.
Come and bite
Carnage,
me.
Carnage Oreos with his face on it,
Face.
and it was edible. It was really
Yes.
cool, really cool. And so now, how did you get your start in marketing? How was that process?
Well, the very first during my training, one of the first things that we were told is that you need to promote yourself.
Yeah.
Because nobody else is going to do it.
Yeah.
You know, you need to do it. You have to have pictures. You have to have something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so the first thing I did, I went and had some promo pictures done, you know, and then I was selling some pictures. And then it's like, well, you know, I could do more than this. And
Yeah.
and so I started doing t-shirts. I started doing hats. I've done, oh my God, I've sold so many things. It's not even funny. You know, I have my own clothing line now, so I can
Yeah.
actually sell my own stuff through
Yeah.
the show, and sell jewelry and
Mhm.
I mean, just list goes on and on.
Yeah.
I got things for everybody, for kids, for
Mhm.
adults.
He had zipper
So,
necklaces
zipper
tonight.
necklaces.
It was really cool.
Little action figures of
Yep.
wrestlers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I do it all, man. I just change. I just keep changing and
Mhm.
evolving. And you know, I'm just always changing stuff up. People give me another idea. Oh yeah, that's great, man. Let's do that. So you know, trading cards and,
Yeah.
and buttons and
Mhm.
you name it, and I've probably sold it over the past 28 years. So
Yeah.
that's because a lot of times a lot of these promoters that I work for, they kind of screw you over, you know, you don't
Mhm.
get paid and
Mhm.
things
Yeah.
like that. And so you have to make money doing other things. You
Yeah.
got to pay for
Yeah.
your travel, you got to
Yeah.
pay for your hotel, you know, a lot of these other things. And so when I started the marketing stuff and selling things, I'm like, damn, I could make some good money doing this. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can make more money selling stuff than actually wrestling. And so I'm like, that's the key, man. That's the key. And so
Yep.
that's what I did. So I've expanded my marketing stuff.
Mhm.
I got tons of stuff to sell now. And like I said, I usually make a lot more money selling my stuff than I do wrestling. So, hey,
Hey, I mean, it works. And, you know, your booth is really cool. And you have a lot of different items for just about everyone. So
Yep.
it's all different price points too. You know, you can get someone that the little kid that only has $1 and,
They
you
got
know,
keychain, for
yeah,
instance.
yeah,
tonight.
$1 keychain
Yep.
and you can go all the way up.
Mm.
So
Yep.
depending on what they want. So that's it. It's the great marketing tool that you have.
Yeah. Yeah. If not, I've learned anything, I've learned that, you know, you need to market yourself. You need to always expand, always change, always update stuff.
Mhm.
And,
Mhm.
you know, that's, I've been doing it for 28 years. So
Yeah.
I'm doing something right. So,
Yeah.
you know, all I could do is just keep doing it.
That good on the job training.
Yeah.
man,
On
you
the
know,
job.
that's how it is.
Yeah. Well, you've done a lot of cool stuff like your TV appearances. So
Yeah.
can you tell us a little bit about that? Because that's
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah, TV was cool. I mean, between 2000 2004, North American Championship Wrestling got a deal with Fox
Mhm.
Cable. We're on weekly on Friday nights, and we were in 13 states and overseas. You know,
Yeah,
doing
so
weekly
cool.
wrestling. I mean, it was pretty cool. I remember one time we were in a bar after party, and they had the big screens on the wall, and one of them was showing
Mhm.
wrestling. And I'm watching myself on TV,
That's
and this
crazy.
girl was there. She was shooting pool, and we were all kind of shooting pool. And I'm watching, and she's there looking. She's looking. I'm like, man, look at this guy up there. I said, isn't he weird looking or something? What's wrong? And she like turns around and giggles, and then she turns back around. She goes, wait. And she turns around, she goes, that's you on TV. I'm like,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh, that's
really?
great.
Oh, thanks. So that was pretty funny. But yeah, it's I did that for a while, and then I got involved with a friend of mine that was one of the producers on the Redskins late night show.
Mhm.
If anybody don't know, they're called the Washington Commanders now, but and originally they were the Washington Redskins.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I worked with they have a TV show that would air in the Northern Virginia,
Mhm.
DC, Maryland area
Mhm.
on Channel 4,
Okay.
on Saturday nights. So it was Redskins late night. The premise of the show, they would have a Redskin, one of the players on,
Mhm.
do a Q&A with them. And then the host of the show was Chris Paul. He was a stand-up comedian in DC area, very funny guy. He was the host, and he had like a puppet thing that he would do. You wouldn't see him doing it, but you'd see the puppet. Was named Larry Landover was the name of the puppet, and then there was a girl. She was a former sports model. She was in Sports Illustrated, all those things. Her name was Crystal Ball. She was, I guess she wasn't funny. She was there for the beauty and stuff like that, because she was a very beautiful woman. And so, so I got hooked up with these guys, and I'm like, oh man, this is just too cool. And so I did like 4 seasons with them, and I would do like, I hosted like the Miss Late Night bikini contest or something. And then I did a skit with the puppet, where we were fighting over, who was going to win the late night contest and stuff. And so it was just on. And then I got to interview some of the fans for the show. And then during that time, the Redskins had asked me to be a bodyguard for RG3 and for Donovan McNabb when they were with Washington. And so I'm like, hell yeah, man, I'm down with that. And so, yes, I did that for a little bit. And Donovan McNabb, I would say probably one of the nicest players I ever met. Super cool guy. I wish he would have stayed. Him and Santana Moss was with the Redskins. 2 of the greatest guys in the world. I remember one time we had Santana on, and normally the line, because part of their gimmick is that they need to do the Q&A, and then they need to sign autographs for everybody that's there, because we did the show live at a sports bar. It was like the Green Turtle or something like that. The location would change every season. And so we would have like a couple hundred people there. And the one place we did, the line was like all the way out and into the mall. It was in a mall, so it was like all the way down in the mall. And Santana was there. They're only supposed to be there like an hour or something. Well, there was still a lot of people there. Santana stayed until every single person got an autograph.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then still waited a couple of minutes just in case. He still stayed. So he was there for like way after we were done with the show, but he was still hanging out. And so I have much respect for him. He was probably one of the greatest guys.
That's fantastic. I love to hear stuff like that about people.
Yeah, he was very awesome. Like I said, he waited till everybody got one. Then of course some of the other players were just jerks, and they would, we had some other guy that was there. I think Hainsworth, I think they paid him like zillions of dollars or something to be on the team for one season.
Wow.
And he came to one of the shows, and he was there for like 10 minutes after doing the talk Q&A. And he's like, oh man, I gotta go, man. Gotta go. And then he rolls out. I'm like, what, dude?
So
you got like 30 people waiting for an autograph. You're just gonna roll. I mean, he was such a jerk. But
Dang, I hate that.
Yeah, I like the people who remember that they're just people. Like that no matter how famous you get, you're still just a person at the end of the day.
You put your pants on the same exact way.
And it's those fans are the ones that are making you who you are.
Yeah,
right?
if you don't
paying
respect
the tickets and things like that.
Yeah,
So,
and they're gonna be like, whatever.
yeah, that's how it is.
You have to. No, I know since you've done that, you went on to do Cage of Dreams. This, I know we have talked about it, and it's like, oh, Jesse and I are so excited about this, the concept of the show. So can you tell the listeners a little bit about Cage of Dreams?
Cage of Dreams was, because with me doing the late night show, I'm like, I said I could come up with something myself, and so when I left late night, I'm like, I can come up with something. So I went to the Cox channel, cable channel, and because they had a local studio near where I lived at, and I'm like, dude, I said, I know you guys do, little TV shows and stuff like that. I said, what can I do? And so I talked to a couple of the producers there. He said, yeah, I said, we can give you one of the studios. They produced it for me and did everything. And I'm like, yeah, let's do this. And so a friend of mine who would always come to the late night show, he was just a Redskin fan, great guy, played drums in a band and diehard Redskin fan. So I love this guy. We would always chit chat. He also produced stuff.
Oh, cool.
And so he's like, dude, he said, let's do this. I'll work with you. Let's do it. So he became my co-host of the show. And so the premise of the show was to have people come on that either had lived, are living, or about to live their dreams. They would come on, talk about it to try and inspire others. Because of me living my dream of becoming a wrestler, I wanted to hear other people's stories. And so Cox loved it. It was on Cox, it was on Fios, it was on all these different cable channels. It was on like three times a week or something like that. So it was pretty awesome. We had a lot of great guests. I had somebody from The Voice had come on. I had friends. One of my biggest friends, she was on like 3 or 4 times. Her name is Jenny Schick. She was actually on American Idol. She's known for kissing Steven Tyler on air. She was doing it. So she was amazing. I would always bring her on during my birthday episodes so she could sing happy birthday to me. So
nice.
We had her on. I had an Olympic gold medalist come on. I had local bands. They would come on. It was just on and on and on. I had some great guests over the years. We did that for about 3 seasons, and then my co-host passed away. So I lost him, and so I just kind of did it myself. I set up a home studio in my apartment. And kind of did my own stuff. I did my own producing. I did the thing. I have a YouTube
which is
channel.
hard, right?
It's very hard.
Doing your own producing is like
do all the editing and everything.
Unbelievably time consuming.
Yes.
I mean, you can sit there and spend all day editing and you're like, oh, I've only got like 10 minutes of this project done.
Especially if you don't have a background in that. And then you're like trying to learn as you're going.
Exactly. Well, luckily my show was only 30 minutes. So it wasn't too bad. But so yes, I did that. I do have a YouTube channel. You can go to Cage of Dreams on YouTube, of course. And I have probably like over 60 videos, a lot of the old shows. And then, some of my wrestling matches and stuff like that. So,
that's cool. That's cool.
That's
love
awesome.
it. We love it. And tonight, so tonight, you guys, we are going to post some stuff, I promise, behind the scenes. But it was really cool because all 3 of us were involved in the match. Of course, Carnage is doing his thing in the middle of the ring.
Kicking butt.
You kicking butt. I'm on the side with my sword and crimson outfit. And then Jesse's actually filming the entire thing.
Yeah. So I've got some great clips and we're gonna piece those together real nice and have Carnage a cool reel from this. But we'll share it out on our page once it's done and help promote that for Carnage because it's good stuff. It got some really cool shots and of some really painful looking scenarios.
And it's great. So tonight you are on our show, which is very similar to Cage of Dreams. It's a lot of the same concept. We want to inspire and motivate and propel and let everyone know that you can do it. You are bigger than what you think you are. So what kind of guests do you want on the show if you're going to continue it in the future?
Yeah, I had, like I said, once my co-host died, it was really sad that he passed. I had a couple other co-hosts come in and kind of try to fill the spot, but it just wasn't the same because he was my guy, And,
well, hey, if you're listening out there and you are wanting to help co-host, reach out to Carnage. There you go.
Yeah, man.
You never know.
So so until once that happened, I just kind of just crushed everything up and just kind of put it away. And I'm like, that's just another dream that I conquered, and so it's just about living my dreams. And I
sometimes
just keep
things
going
are for a season.
after another,
So, exactly.
Yeah. So another cool thing that you do, which I think is freaking awesome, is your nonprofit Win. So tell us about that because it's so cool.
Yeah, when I started, because I worked with a guy, a friend of mine, Jay Pageant, my buddy with the Carb Kings down in Fredericksburg, Virginia, my man.
Jay.
He does a lot of car shows and things like that, and he does a nonprofit. He has his own codes, and he does the nonprofit thing to all different charities and stuff. And I was talking to him. I'm like, I said, I'd like to do something like that. He said, well, he said, work with me, man. He said, let's do it. Let's get it together. And so I came up with Win, which is supposed to be actually wrestlers helping those in need. But then I cut it down and just win wrestlers in need, so, but it's actually a little longer, but I tried cutting it down. And so what it was, normally nonprofits just donate money. They just raise money and donate it. Mine put a little twist on it. What we did was I was able to go out and find special needs children. And we would put on an event, wrestling event, car show, whatever, and we would raise money and then find out what that child needed to change their life. And so we would go out and purchase it and then give it to the kid.
Love it.
And so the very first one we did was actually a friend of mine. I knew her. She was one of my ballets in Ohio. Her son had throat issues being born and stuff. And so he couldn't speak. He had like a trachea thing in his throat and things like that. So he couldn't speak. And so she said they needed something for him to talk so she can understand what he's doing. And so they made this like a keyboard thing that he could push buttons to let her know what he wanted to eat and things like that.
That's so cool.
And so we did an event. And so we raised it was like over $600 and we purchased it. Or Jay purchased it for me. And then we actually drove to Ohio to give it to the kid in person. So that was our very first one. And that was, trust me, there's nothing like seeing a kid getting something that you know is going to change your life. The kid now is probably a young teen, speaks all the time. Every things had progressed that he's able to speak now. So
that's fantastic.
It was just a stepping stone for him. And so we just kept doing it. We would have, there was another little girl with cerebral palsy out of West Virginia. She had never, cause she's wheelchair bound. So she was never able to ride a bike. And so we had the family come to a wrestling show. We did that. We raised almost $1,000 at that show. And so that one we did not purchase because we didn't know what we were looking for. And so we spoke with the dad and mom. And so we just gave them the money and said, here, get the bike and let us know. And so he was able to, he did a lot of research and stuff and had to contact a lot of people, but he was able to find a bike that she could ride that it had like a bar in the back so they can walk behind her and so she can ride it. So with that, she was, for the first time in her life, she was able to ride a bicycle. So
that's so freaking.
It's just the stories just keep coming. But so we did that. This year in 2022, I did move to Mississippi. So my buddy Jay,
that's where we are right now.
We are right now, Mississippi, Columbus, Mississippi. And so my buddy Jay still, lives in Virginia. So with me not being there anymore, we're not able to work together and do things. So again, that's another project that's on hold. But again, another dream that I wanted to do fulfilled. And
lives changed.
Who knows?
And
who knows?
People forever impacted.
We didn't do a lot. We did maybe, I want to say about 5 or 6 children that we did. There was one kid, a lady actually contacted me in Wisconsin and said, hey, we're kind of living with my mom right now. We lost everything in the home. My son is special needs. He doesn't have a TV or a bed. I'm like, oh my goodness. I said, how am I going to do this? They're in Wisconsin. I just can't drive there, or get them what they drop off a TV. And so we did the event. And so we raised some money. And another friend of mine at my job, he is from, I want to say like Puerto Rico or something like that, but he does a nonprofit for kids there. And so he's like, dude, he said, I can get you a TV. I said, okay, cool. So he was able to get me a TV, donated the TV to me, which I shipped out. And then, so I'm like, okay, well, how am I supposed to get a bed to Wisconsin? So I'm like, I got it. So I called
Amazon.
Almost. I called locally and I found a furniture store a mile from their house.
That's awesome.
I'm like, I called them up. I'm like, look, I need a bed delivered. I need it set up. I said, no problem. I paid for it over the phone. They delivered it. They set it up. She sent me pictures of him sitting on the bed, holding the TV. And so, it's just, I love doing for others, because the Lord has done a lot for me, helped me live my dreams and things like that. And others have helped me. So you got to give back. You got to give back.
You have to. Gratitude for everything that you have in life is so important. Giving back and returning and just everything that you do in life, just be 100% present and be there in the moment. And everything that you do, it's how much energy you put back, is how much you get back.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
And, you know, we're thankful for this friendship with you and to do things like this in person and live. It's just so cool that you're our first on tour, on the road guest.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
And
who's number one? Carnage.
It's cool because we'll be fully transparent here. We actually did an interview with Carnage not about what, 2 months ago?
Shame.
Wasn't us.
And Zoom crashed out randomly and our entire interview got lost. And I was sick, like just heartbroken. And I didn't want to have to tell Carnage that we lost the entire interview. And it was a really good one too. And
he's a wrestler, you guys, a wrestler.
and so then he, had this great idea of us coming to Mississippi and us doing this. And I think this is just so cool that we actually got to do this, that I'm actually glad we lost the recording because it enabled us to have this experience where we're here with you in person. Where
we're sitting here in the lobby of the Marriott, chilling.
You can hear all the stuff going on in the background because we are live on location.
We are. And there's things that's going to happen in the background that we cannot control. So that's going to happen.
People are still coming in. It's well after 1 in the morning.
It's Saturday night. So it's party happening.
Time, not much in some of the towns, but
so speaking of party, you had a party at your table with your iconic brand. Can you tell everybody about your iconic?
Oh, iconic one was another dream that I had. I'm like, I see all these people having all these brands out there and things. And
Jesse's wearing it right here.
So I'm like,
on our Patreon, you can see it.
And so I'm like, I said, I can come up with something like that. So a little background. So it's kind of funny because there's 2 girls wrestling. They wrestled in WWE and now they were in AEW. They were called the Iconics. And those girls were so entertaining. I just loved them. They were absolutely amazing. And so I'm like, iconic. I like that. And so I'm like, well, I'm going to put a little twist on. I'm going to make it Iconic 1 because the 1 is you. And so I came up with the concept. I'm like, dude, I said, I could do that. And so I created the logo with the skull, because skulls are my gimmick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, let me incorporate it into my wrestling. And so it's Iconic 1 brand. I have hats, I got T-shirts, and I got sweatpants or joggers, whatever you want to call them. And then I have other things. I got, like backpacks and bags and other things. And so, they're exclusive. You can only get them through me. So find me on Facebook at Carnage Perez, or just Google Bad Boy Carnage.
That's right. I mean,
and it's good quality material. The
it's great.
Shirts are comfy, and
it's all silk screen. It's not iron on and none of that cheap stuff. These are actually really screen printed shirts that I get done, and the company that I use are amazing.
Yeah. Now
see the hotel lobby phone.
I need to answer the phone.
We just talked about this. And this is what happens when you're podcasting at 1:17 a.m. in a hotel lobby.
So iconic, your iconic brand.
Right.
It's really cool. But now I know that came from everywhere it came from. But have you always been iconic to yourself? Have you always been like self-loving and self-worthy to you as a person?
Oh yes, definitely. I'm people, when they meet me and stuff, they're like, you are probably one of the most positive people I've ever met. I'm like, dude, I said, that's how you got to live. You can't, you got to get away the drama and the negativity, and you got to be positive, because if you're positive in life, you try to be positive to others, the Lord will be positive to you and do things for you. And that's the only way to live. You got to be the best you can be. You got to be positive and just live your dreams, no matter how big or small. You got to at least try to live them, because you don't want no regrets in life.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing about a lot of people. They're scared and they have fear, and it's really hard for them to get out of the bubble that they're in. And you look at you're out here doing all these different things, saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. If I want to do it, I'm going to set my mind to it and I'm going to do it.
That's it. That's it. What you got to do. That's how you got to live every day. You know, every day of your life, tomorrow's never promised, you know? And so you need to, you know, just give 1,000%. The moment you wake up till the moment you go to sleep, you got 24 hours in a day to at least try to do something, you know, try to make a difference, or try to live a dream, or try to accomplish something that you never accomplished before. You know, just don't waste time.
We love it.
That's what we preach every week on this podcast. Like, get out there, do your dream.
Yeah, do it, man.
You sitting there isn't getting anything done. You wishing that it was going to happen isn't making it happen. You got to actually do it. And once you start to do it, just keep going, no matter how scary it gets.
That's it. Just keep going to the next one. Accomplish, go on. Accomplish, go on.
Well, accomplish.
Check.
Check.
That's right.
Celebrate.
And then go.
Then go on.
You can't skip that very vital step.
Yeah, you know, because we're all about celebrating successes, celebrating, you know, stopping for those small things. It's so funny because when Jesse and we got the role on set, and this is like Jesse's first big scene on set, working with a director, and you know, the camera's right there,
featured role,
like a featured role. And, you know, so we stopped and we celebrated. And I'm like, you know, the very first time that I ever got my featured role or was on set, I didn't stop and celebrate that. I just, I got it. Okay, what's next? I got to keep going. You know, I have to get the next thing. I have to get the next thing. I have to get, and we forget to stop and celebrate. So when we actually stopped and celebrated that moment, it kind of brought everything into fruition. Like, this is what you're supposed to do, that you are supposed to stop and celebrate. And we do our crazy little dance. And I feel like we should do it because we have a lot to celebrate tonight. We celebrating a match. We're celebrating us being together and us doing a podcast live in person for the first time. So there's a lot to celebrate.
Yeah.
So we do this little dance. And so we're just going to do it in our chairs. So you put your fingers up. So put your fingers up in the air, and you're going to move them side to side, just like this, and do like a little dance. One time. And do like a little dance. Move your shoulders. You know,
then you make a funny little noise,
and you go.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's where we lost.
See, now you lost me. Putting on the brakes, man. Nope.
You're so close. Just go.
No.
But we do this because it really is silly. It's out there.
It's ridiculous.
And it's so ridiculous. But you know what? Every time you do it, you laugh and you
help but have the biggest smile on your face.
You get so happy on the inside. And not only you are so ridiculous, but you stop and it really makes you celebrate those moments. And you are really present and said, hey, we just did this. We need to celebrate this.
Right.
And then you can keep going forward.
Right. Yeah, that sounds outstanding. I appreciate that. Y'all trying to get me to.
Speaking of which, is there anything
like a fool?
Yes. Yeah, because I'm going to say that sitting right across from a.
He is in arm's reach. See?
Yes. Those of you that are not on Patreon, just listening to this like normal people that aren't cool at all, you can't see how big Carnage is compared to me. I'm very small.
What's your stats, man?
What's
your height and weight?
I'm 5'11", 142.
Okay.
Like, I'm real scrawny now.
And I'm 6'5" and 260 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal. So who do you think would win?
Definitely me. Definitely. Listen, I might be scrawny, but I can scrap.
My kneecap.
I watched you fight tonight. I could take you.
Okay. All right.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on. Let me go get my baseball bat. Hold on. I'll be right back.
The baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire.
So I think what has happened tonight is the male dressing room, green room that everybody was in, they got a little bit too much testosterone going on.
A whole lot up in there.
Oh yeah. There was so much crap being talked in there. It was great. And I think we would be remiss if we didn't just give our fans a little bit more of some insane stories from the road. So can you just like give us like two crazy things.
Is this PG or is this R rated?
I mean,
You do whatever you want. You're
yeah,
Carnage.
I mean, it's man, you know, I'll tell you, one of the funniest stories was, well, for me it was this guy, a young kid, and it was many years ago, and it was the first time I worked for a promotion. And the promoter says, okay, he says, I need you to let this kid win the title. I need you to go about 20 minutes. He said, we got a lot of time. I said, you got to kill it. No problem, boss. I got you. This kid is talking mad smack in the back. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm like, dude, you lost me as soon as you opened your mouth. I said, because I'm not hearing anything you got to say. Now, mind you, this is in Virginia, a state that you cannot bleed. Okay. If you do bleed, you need to end that match within 3 moves, or else you can lose your license, get fined, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
No problem. We get in there. We're about, I don't even think 5 minutes in. And kid shoots me in, comes in with a high knee, a little too high, hits me right in the jaw. And I end up going right through my tongue. All of a sudden I got blood spurting. I'm like, well, I can't say what I called him, but, and so I'm like, well, I said, I got to end this match. I don't have any choice. I got to end it because I'm bleeding. And so I took a swing. That was one. He ducked. He went down to the mat. So I just got on top of him. And my last 2 moves were me punching him in his face. He ended up rolling out of the ring, running around, screaming like a little girl. He ended up needing almost 20 stitches to close his face up.
Oh my God.
So he was a hot mess. While he's running around, screaming,
more blood going everywhere.
Blood going all over the place. I looked to the back of the arena, and the promoter's standing back there, and he's doing like this.
For those of you that can't see.
Can't see. I'm looking at my watch, and he's shaking his head like, I can't believe I just saw this. And so,
mind you, we're only 5 minutes in.
Yeah, we're only 5 minutes in. So the match got thrown out. The kid didn't get the belt. He ended up going to the hospital. I had blood all in my mouth. So yeah, it was just a hot mess, and nothing went the way it was supposed to. But you know,
but that's the way it happens a lot of times on when you're wrestling, there's an outcome, right?
Yeah, I'm sure everybody in the world knows that the endings to matches are usually predetermined, but
things happen
sometimes
like that.
Things can happen and cause it to not be.
So anything can happen at any point. If something changes just the slightest little thing up that you have no clue, then it's just whatever.
Yeah, it only takes 1 split second. You know, somebody could just jump off the rope and break an ankle.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, you got to end it, you know, because you can't continue. So it's got to end. And so, you know, accidents happen, you know, things do, because on the indie circuit, every night is usually a different type of ring, different wrestlers. So there's so much, you know, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Whereas on TV, they wrestle in the same rings all the time. They know everything. And so less likely for those type of accidents. So.
Right. And you're everywhere. Like, so the ring tonight didn't give, right? Like
it was hard. It was very hard. Yes, very hard.
Yeah.
It was like me. There's a table right here. For those listening at home, I'm tapping on like a marble table, and that's kind of like what the ring was tonight. It had no give. I jumped in it and I had nothing.
Yeah.
I jumped on the concrete. Again, nothing.
It wasn't trampoline like at all.
At all.
You know how bouncy houses are?
Yeah.
It wasn't that.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that. I wish they would have at least had another inch of padding. It would have been a little bit softer, but yeah.
And this isn't just like, ow, I fell down. This is somebody picked Carnage up and threw him down on top of this floor that
concrete
no give.
floor, pretty much.
Yeah, there was a 300-pound guy that came out to interfere for the guy that I was wrestling to help him win, cheater. And he pretty much picked me up and just slammed me. And here I am, 260. This guy's like almost 300. And he just kind of put me almost through the ring tonight. And it was just very painful.
I
I'm
bet
still
that
sore
hurts.
right now. I'm not showing it
Yeah.
because I'm the bad boy.
And
But
and then he
yeah.
got stomped on the
Yeah.
concrete
yeah.
Yep.
shortly thereafter. And these guys aren't pulling their punches. Like they're like really hitting. It was surprising at how much
Yeah, I thought his
actual
foot
physical
was going to come
contact.
right through my stomach. So
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. Right on the back. Like,
yeah, it's still a little sore.
Well, Carnage, it's getting super late, and this has been amazing.
I know y'all
And
keep
like,
out past my bedtime.
yeah, he's got to get up
Tell
early
about
in the
it.
morning and drive back
Yeah.
home, and so we want to be respectful of your time
Oh, I appreciate
and
that, man.
everything. But tell people where they can find you, how they can check you out, where you're wrestling. You've got a new thing that's happening here in this area, so tell a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's I don't know if you can see my shirt. Those of you listening, you cannot, but I do have a t-shirt that says OCW, which is old school, not old OLD, it's OL, old school championship wrestling. It's a brand new promotion that we're going to be starting up, me and a couple other wrestlers, probably in the next month or two. It's going to be in the Mississippi area, hopefully to expand. And it's just we're just trying to get back to the old school, man.
Yeah.
You know, just
Yeah.
the no knee slappings. I hate that. And just some psychology.
Yeah.
You know, just go out there, tell a story. And so we're going back to that. So we're going to be starting this promotion up about another month or so. I think our first show will be in West Point, Mississippi. Date not yet, but yeah,
TBD.
just check it out. Yeah. But to find me, I'm pretty easy. Like I say, just Google Bad Boy Carnage, nice and easy. On Facebook, it's Carnage Perez. They make me use my real name. But anyway, you know, and so on YouTube, it's Cage of Dreams on YouTube. Pretty simple. Do have a website. It's Bad Boy Carnage .weebly.com or something like that. You'll find it if you just Google Bad Boy Carnage. But yeah, I'm not hard to find. I've been around for a long time, so
Got a lot of content out
yeah,
there.
got a lot of content out there.
That's awesome. And you know, you really had the fans going tonight. They were constantly Carnage.
Well, with your help, of course. You were out there at ringside cheering them on, so I appreciate that.
And so I had a cool idea. I think it would be cool on our Patreon page if we posted the entire match. Would you be okay with us doing that?
Yes.
All right. So on our Patreon page, I'm going to post the entire wrestling match that I filmed tonight, and you'll see Melissa out there as Crimson cheering on Carnage as he
Yeah,
is
good stuff.
just beating the snot out of this guy. We got
Oh,
more
yeah.
people coming in the lobby.
Yeah,
This,
it's a happening.
this is awesome. I love
It's
this.
this place that couldn't find a parking spot. It's so busy.
It was a busy night
It's
tonight.
crazy. I don't know what's going on here in Mississippi, but it is.
It's
I want in.
Yeah. So we're going to sign off here. Normally we would do a big closeout, but I think we've pretty much covered it. Hey, tell your friends about the podcast. Word of mouth.
Yep.
Seriously, you can't do better than that. If you like this and you like what we're doing and you can't afford $5 a month to be a patron and get all this amazing bonus content, then just tell a friend because that's free.
Yeah.
And we appreciate
we
the
love
heck out of
it.
it.
If you guys come over to Reimagine Success Pod at any social media, like, share, comment, share your success.
Yes,
stories.
share your
We want to hear
success.
from you guys.
Tell us what's going on in your life
Yeah.
because the whole reason we do this podcast is
It's
to
for you.
encourage people to have more success in their life. And we want to know what successes you're having,
Yep.
big, small, all of it on a daily basis.
That's right. Be iconic. One, baby.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So we want to do a huge thank you to Carnage
Yes.
Perez here. And
It was
man,
an awesome
this has been
night.
so cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. You guys are
Until-
awesome.
Until next time, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Did you get motivated? Do you feel inspired?
Don't worry about keeping up with the Joneses anymore, and don't forget to celebrate your successes every single day. Thank you for taking this journey with us.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Reimagine Success Pod. Email us at reimaginesuccesspod@gmail.com and let us know what your successes are. Head over to patreon.com/creativeglobal for bonus and behind-the-scenes content.
New episodes every Thursday at reimaginesuccesspod.com or your favorite podcast streaming platform.
So let's change our mindsets and reimagine success.